All right, a little bit of a shocker here after a horrible game on Sunday, some questionable post-game remarks, and a vote of no confidence from his head coach earlier in the week. Jets starting quarterback Zach Wilson, the former number 2 overall pick just in 2021, is being benched for a former 5th-round pick Mike White. Kind of a shocker here. The Jets are pulling the plug on Zach Wilson this season. It looks like he's 5-2 on the year with 2 losses against the Patriots. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, he was getting the praises of everybody after beating the Buffalo Bills, but just 9 completions on Sunday, and then the lack of ownership on the terrible play has got him benched. He's got to have lost the locker room. That's the only thing that can explain this story. I'm going to break down everything going on, give you my 2 cents on the whole thing, but if you could first, drop a quick like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. New videos every single weekday, but let's get into it. So, this is a little bit of a shocker. Zach Wilson out of BYU, the number 2 overall pick in 2021, has 20 starts on his career, and he has just not developed the way they've wanted to. The Jets saw the playoffs all in front of them. They were sitting at 6-3, having one of the best seasons ever. They're looking to end the longest playoff drought currently in the NFL, not making the playoffs since 2010, and they feel it slipping. He was horrible on Sunday, just flat out, 9 completions. The Jets averaged 7 inches per play or some shit like that in the second half. Just absolutely abysmal stuff from them. The punt return obviously ended the game with no time left, but I can't believe they pulled the plug on him this early. What really, I think, dug a hole for Zach Wilson, kind of sealed his fate with these post-game comments after the game. He was asked, do you feel like you let the defense down? And let's just...
As an offense, though, I mean, when you guys are only able to score 3 points, the defense only lets up 3 points. I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down at all?
No.
Yeah, so just awful stuff, saying no. Like, really, dude? You had 70 yards and 9 completions? Of course you let your team down. It was just terrible. I think he's lost the locker room. That's the only reason you can say this. Garrett Wilson had some weird comments also, talking about how certain people aren't held to the standards that need to be held to and stuff like that. He was very verbally frustrated, physically, emotionally. You saw him letting it out that he couldn't get the ball. Zach wasn't throwing the ball well. And that was the word out of camp earlier in this season. Zach really was struggling to make the easy throws. He's a walking home run at BYU, but he has not developed. He misses easy throws. He's not the most accurate guy. And his attitude, he's kind of got that Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, Drew Lock feel to him, like nonchalant, I don't give a shit, whatever. And Robert Saleh feels this is a playoff team. His defense is elite. They've been playing lights out. They gave up 6 points in the game against the Patriots, and he feels like the offense is really, really holding them back. They're not going with Joe Flacco, though. Not going with Joe Flacco, who started games earlier in the season. They're going with Mike White, the former Dallas Cowboy, 5th-round pick out of Western Kentucky. And he started 4 games for the Jets last year when Wilson was out. It honestly wasn't terrible. Had a really nice game against the Bengals, 405, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. But overall, only 5 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Not a good touchdown-interception ratio. 4 INTs, no touchdowns in his last game against the dominant Bills team. But they're hoping he can get the offense going, get the ball to their playmaker receivers. They got nice receivers in New York. Decent tight end in Tyler Conklin. They got to get the running game reestablished. They're really, really hurting that they lost Breece Hall, the rookie running back. He was having a phenomenal season. But James Robinson's okay. Michael Carter's a nice guy. So they should be able to get the running game going. But it makes you really think, is he done in New York? It's so hard to come back from something like this. Robert Saleh, head coach, was very adamant he is not done. And you know what? I'm not loving what I'm hearing from Saleh. He's very up and down kind of guy. He was just praising Zach Wilson 2 weeks ago after their win against the Bills. I mean, he's 5-2 on the season, and he's lost to the Patriots twice. He hasn't been great, but man, it feels like a really quick move. It's very reactionary. It's very emotional. Now, I don't know everything that's going on. It has to be more than that. It has to be the locker room. Zach Wilson was voted captain by his teammates to start the season. So it showed you they had some faith in them. This is completely lost. I don't know what you do with Zach Wilson moving forward. If the wheels fall off the wagon here and they're not going to make the playoffs, I think you got to go back to Zach Wilson and at least try and get him to win the team back, win back the locker room, or the Jets are in quarterback hell once again. And it really makes you think, what they would be like if they had just drafted Justin Fields at number 2. I know it would have been a little bit of stretch to get Fields to take Fields at 2. Probably would have been Trey Lance, but are you taking Zach Wilson at 2? You really shouldn't have done that either. So maybe they would have went with Trey Lance. Trey Lance obviously out for the season, so they'd be in bad shape here. But who knows? Maybe he's a decent player. Justin Fields, man, if you could have just added his running ability, this is probably a first-place team. Don't call me crazy. They're probably tied for first with the Chiefs right now. Their schedule hasn't been terrible. Fields adds a dynamic running game with an already good actual running game. He could throw the football a good amount, and the defense is so elite that they shut teams down. So it really makes you think what it could have been. What does the future hold for the Jets? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is Zach Wilson done in New York? Is this too much of a reactionary move? Is Mike Wilson going to lead the Jets back to the promised land and the postseason? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.